Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews. Let's go see what's in the fridge today. Hello everybody, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. We're going to do another pumpkin beer. Like I said yesterday, I bought a couple of different pumpkin beers, a couple to re-review, and one of them or two of them that I've got in there that I have not reviewed yet. So we may just go ahead and get them out of the way, especially since these guys are rushing the season. And yesterday's beer was put in a bottle on July the 11th. And this one has a batch code of 72314. So this is another one that was done in July. They get earlier and earlier every year. I mean, and that sucks. I mean, I wish they would wait till at least August or September before they start putting this stuff in the bottle. My personal opinion is I'm not interested in drinking a pumpkin beer when it's 95 degrees outside. I mean, that's the furthest thing from my mind. I want something a little lighter or whatever for doing yard work, or a nice hoppy IPA or something like that instead of a pumpkin beer in July. So just my opinion though, guys. So nothing I can do about it. They're going to do what they're going to do. But if they're doing pumpkin beers and they're doing them in July, there's no pumpkins or butternut squash or any of that stuff available. So they're either using canned pumpkin or frozen pumpkin or something to that aspect to do these beers with. So my personal opinion is I just soon have fresh pumpkin in my beer brewing process. And I have brewed pumpkin beer before and used fresh pumpkin. So just my 2 cents, guys. All right. Pumpkin beers are not officially designated as a style, so there are really no technical food pairings for this. They just say general, and the meat is poultry. The glass jar is a pint becker, not like a tumbler. I'm going to use a Duvel glass for this one. I told you guys the other day that I'm going to start using this glass more and more. It's a lot bigger glass, plus the shape of the glass enhances the aromas. And we're trying to not fill the glass all the way up so we can get a nose on it and get some of those aromas. When you pour it all the way to the top, I mean, all those aromas are just escaping all over the place, and they're not down in the glass where you can actually smell them real well. So, not recommended for extended cellarings on this beer. And this is, it says 7.3 here on Rate Beer, but Beer Advocate says it's 8%, and I don't think they listed. So let me double check and see here real quick. And it doesn't say here, so I mean, you just have no idea. So they need to step up to the plate and put what the damn ABV is on the damn beer. You know, you shouldn't have to go to a website, either theirs or Beer Advocate or Rate Beer, to find out what the ABV of the beer. If you're out in the bar drinking this, we'd kind of like to know that information, so you know how many to have before you're inebriated, whether you're drinking a 4 or 5%, or even a 7 or a 8%er. So they need to put that information on there. And they've stepped up and put the batch code, which is basically a bottling date on it. But I kind of like to have that information, so we'll know. This one does not have the IBUs listed, so I mean they're lacking on a little bit of information for the consumer as far as I'm concerned. Most of the stuff that Williamsburg Alewerks does is pretty tasty. I don't think I've had a bad one from these guys, but they can put a little more information on the label there than what they're doing. Unless it's changing from batch to batch or year to year, they could print these labels up. They've got a machine that's actually dating the label code here for the batch number. Why not put the ABV on there too? I mean, and the IBUs as far as that goes. Kind of information you'd like to know before you make a purchase. either on one or a 6-pack, and that's how this one comes in a 6-pack. And it wasn't very expensive. It's, you know, $9 or $10 for 6 of them, which is not bad for 7-8% beer. Commercial description on this one: pumpkin ale is pumpkin pie in a bottle. Skip the pie after dinner and just have a couple of these. An American amber ale flavored with all those fall spices we love. Well, I don't think there's anything else we need to talk about, so let me pop the cap on this one and get it into the glass. Nice little hiss, nice smoke coming out of it. And yesterday's beer, when I poured it 4 years ago, I mean, I poured it fairly easy and didn't get hardly any head. Yesterday I poured a half a glass and got almost 4 fingers of head. So this one's going right down the center, and it's not producing hardly any head at all. And the one yesterday dissipated really quick. I mean, within a minute or two, that 3 fingers of head dissipated. So pretty good looking in the glass. A little darker than yesterday's. It's almost to the red copper tone color. Very clear. I can see right through this one. Didn't pour a very big head with that aggressive pour. Just barely is covering the top of the beer. Let's get a nose on it. This one's got a little bit more spiciness to it with the nutmeg, allspice, ginger, and cinnamon and all that going on. It doesn't actually say that it's brewed with real pumpkin, so. Whereas yesterday said they used pumpkin and butternut squash, so. If they're not putting pumpkin in it, I guess they can make it in January or February and just throw all those spices in it, huh? Probably so. Let's give it a taste, see what we got. Cheers, everybody. Nothing is really standing out more than the other. Everything seems like it's blended in fairly well. All the spiciness, it's all there, but nothing, there's not more nutmeg or more ginger or more cinnamon than anything else. It does seem like it's got a little more IBUs than yesterday's beer. Just a slight more bitterness to the back end than the other one that we did yesterday. And you can taste just a little bit of the alcohol, a little bit more than I did the one yesterday. Not much. It's not boozy. Tastes pretty good though. Pretty tasty beer. Like I said, I've not been disappointed from Williamsburg Alewerks. They're out of Williamsburg, Virginia. And they're actually calling themselves Alewerks Brewing now instead of Williamsburg Alewerks. They changed their name, or shortened their name, however you will. But it's still pretty tasty. I got the date on it. We need to have the IBUs and the ABV on the label. That would be information we need to know too. So, especially since we got conflicting ABVs from one website to the other. So, evidently they're guessing too. I haven't gone to their website to find out anything. I usually don't. But it's kind of information we need to have on the label, guys. Especially if you're out in a pub or a bar drinking this stuff. You kind of want to know whether you're drinking a 4, 5, 8, or 10% beer, so you know how many you can have before you're inebriated or safe to drive home. So that's why I do all of mine here, so I ain't got to worry about driving home. I'm already home. Alright, it's 40 degrees right out of the fridge. Let's let it warm up a little bit, let the other half taste it again. I reviewed this one back about 4 years ago, December of 2010. And it was like review 137, so I thought I'd re-review it and see if my opinion has changed on it any, and see where it ended up. So I'll be right back and we'll find out. Alright guys, I'm back. Got just a left here. This is pretty tasty. I think I like this one a tad bit better than the one we did yesterday. This one is, I went to the website and it did say that it's 7.3%. To me, it's got just a little more taste than the one we had yesterday from Shapley. to me, this is more like a pumpkin pie in a glass than the one we had yesterday. Even though yesterday was pretty decent, I think this one was just a tad better. So let me do the final chug here. I think it's a little more balanced. All the spices seem to come together in this one a little bit better. And the only fuss I've got, they don't have the ABV on the bottle, and I actually had to go to their website to find out exactly what it was, which is 7.3. I think they need to put that on the bottle. And they need to stop brewing this stuff in July. I mean, when I first started doing beer reviews, I mean, the pumpkin beers didn't come out till September, October. And they were available for a couple of months after that. And I mean, I still remember seeing pumpkin beers on the shelf in December. But now, I mean, they were doing them in July. And by the time Halloween gets here, when it's basically the major pumpkin season, they were all gone. They're all off the shelf by then, and all the winter beers are out by then. So, it is what it is. We have no control over that, and they seem to kind of want to rush the season every year, and it gets earlier and earlier and earlier. So, it is what it is. I think this one is, I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10, guys. I think it was just a hair better than the one we did yesterday. Even though yesterday's beer was an A beer too, but I think this one is just a tad. I mean, it ain't much, but just a tad tastier than the Schlafly. So, but nonetheless, both of them are A beers in my opinion. This one just seemed to be more balanced and more pumpkin pie-ish, if you will. But like I said, beer tastes are subjective. You may think Schlafly is better than this, so it is what it is, guys. So let's go see what everybody else thinks. We'll go over to Beer Advocate first. They say 93, which is in their outstanding range, and over to Rate Beer. Rate Beer says overall 97 and 99 in the style, which I think that's about what it was yesterday from them. So pretty subjective taste there. I mean, tit for tat, if you will. They're both pretty decent beers, A beers, if you will, in my opinion. So if you've had this one from Williamsburg, well, it ain't Williamsburg. They just call it Alewerks Brewing now. Let me know what you think, and let's see what we're going to get tomorrow. We're going to take that walk and see what's in the fridge. There may be another pumpkin beer or two in there. Come on back tomorrow. We'll see.